If there is one thing that you get out of this retention journey, it is this: self-image. It is the most important thing. It is like if you find a way to sort out your self-image, and if you see yourself in a really positive light, everything else is going to reflect that internal positive self-image that you have built for yourself. And that is one thing that semen retention is going to do for you. It won't be a story that you tell yourself, like, either. It'll be something that is completely backed up by your actions. It is something that you will truly know in yourself, that, hey, I am that guy now. I am that guy because I have proven it. You know, I'm not one that just starts talking. Nah, the actions are what is actually doing the talking here. So self-image, right? Self-image is so important because if you have an extremely low sense of self-image, you are going to be approaching every single thing in your life from a place of insecurity. And as much empathy and sympathy as a person can have for someone that is insecure, a person's insecurity, it can express itself in disrespect, in being rude, in basically, just in not being friendly. Now, insecurity, a person that is deeply insecure in themselves, that person, if they are confronted with someone who has a high self-image, let's just say, they are going to resent the hell out of that person. And it won't be fair. It won't be fair because, like, that person, you know, like, they could be a good guy, you know, a top bloke. However, that person's insecurity, like, his presence is stirring something deep inside of that insecure person, and it doesn't know how to express itself. So, yeah, I mean, like, a person that is insecure, like, you cannot tell them anything. Anything that you say to them, it will just go in one ear, out the other. It'll just completely breeze past them, because that is not, like, it is not something that can resonate with their insecurity, because at the end of the day, like, we are comfortable in being small, right? In being insecure, in being a victim. It is very difficult to snap out of that. However, it is only when you snap out of that, it's only when you do that, but that is when the real change and the real transformation starts to happen in your life. It happened for me. You know, I was that guy. I was insecure. I was a victim. I thought I was a victim. However, that did not change. It didn't change jack shit, really. It didn't. And it just made things so much. It basically just continued how things were already going, and it was not ideal to my growth. So, self-image, right? Everything, all of the benefits of semen retention, it comes down to that one concept of self-image. If you see yourself as someone who is worthy and deserving of respect, people are going to respect you, because it is going to be in your demeanor, in your presence, in your aura. People will pick up on it, you know. However, if you are someone who is really insecure, has a really low sense of self-image, people will also pick up on that, and they will kind of think to themselves, even though it isn't a very nice thing to, it isn't a nice thing to think, but people will think to themselves, hang on, okay, so he doesn't respect himself, obviously, because he's putting up with this and that. I mean, if he doesn't respect himself, then why should I respect him? Right? Obviously, like, you try to give people the benefit of the doubt and stuff. However, some people don't help themselves. And I've tried my best in my life, you know, ever since I got on this journey, to try to help people in that regard, because it is so important. It is really important, because it really is the root of all of the transformation that you are going to have on semen retention. So do everything that you can to build a strong foundation for yourself, a strong self-image, because having that is then going to be projected outwards, right? It's going to reflect back to you. I've spoken about this concept before. However, as I've gotten onto my SR journey, like, the more I realize that reality is a mirror. It reflects what your internal state is. It reflects that back to you, right? So if you don't respect yourself, others will not respect you. If you do respect yourself, others will see that, and they will know that they can't get away with shit with you, because, like, you hold yourself to such a high regard. Like, and that isn't to say to be cocky and arrogant. Like, that isn't the point. Like, it's about being truly confident. True confidence does not need to be arrogant, because arrogance is coming from a place of insecurity. Arrogance is having a chip on your shoulder. So if you ever catch yourself getting into that arrogance state, just know that it is coming from a place of insecurity. Confidence has no time for insecurity, because it is truly and genuinely okay in its own skin, right? So that is ideal.